Hello. So welcome to my home. I'm in my home office here, and I wanted to ask you, how are you doing with this global pandemic and the lockdown? How have you been coping? I thought I might share with you some ideas on how this is probably affecting your nervous system, and at the end provide you with some tips and recommendations, things that you can do yourself to help get back to a more content and calm state of being, the place where we're all hoping to be. Your beliefs will create your thoughts, and that will influence your actions, and your actions will determine your character, and your character is what will be the outcome for your destiny. This is what Gandhi told us in his wisdoms. Another bright spark, Einstein, he also said that how you are will be dependent upon how you perceive the world, either as hostile or friendly. You've probably had the experience whereby when you are in a good state of mind and something happens to you, you tend to see the good in people, the good in the world, and what comes along your way is opportunities. Where there are times when your frame of mind is maybe more anxious, or you had some ill emotion, and something comes your way, and you're more defensive and protective, and less opportunities and more protection. And fundamentally, this is derived from your nervous system and how the brain tends to play out, and our perceived and learnt ways of acting. Now, our nervous system, anyone that's come to the clinic knows, we are primarily there to make sure that your body has the ability to control and regulate and heal and repair itself. And the highest system of control that you have to do that is your nervous system. And broadly speaking, it's in two parts. There's one down the middle, which is your central nervous system, your brain, your spinal cord, where you process information, if you like, the computer-like part of your nervous system. And then you have your peripheral nervous system, which is pretty much everything else. The wires and the sensors. The sensors and the wires to bring the information back to your nervous system so you know what's going on, make a decision, and then send that command out to be carried out. There is another part of your nervous system called the autonomic nervous system, or ANS for short. I'll try not to get too technical here, but it is divided into two parts. One part of it you can regard as like an accelerator pedal. It is your flight, fright, fight response. It sort of keys you up. If you are in a situation whereby you're facing danger, it's the part of your nervous system you want to kick into play to protect you from danger, protect you from that aggressive person walking towards you, or from that vicious dog that's about to bite your leg. It will take the blood away from your gut and send it to your muscles so they have the energy to run away. It'll dilate your pupil, it'll make you perspire, it'll increase your heart rate. All the things to really key you up to get away from something. And that's fine if it is a short-term burst response, because this also releases the hormones of stress. I'll come back to that in a moment. So that's the sympathetic nervous system. The other aspect is called your parasympathetic nervous system. And this is the part which is where you are resting and digesting your food. All is calm and good in the world, no need to be fearful. It's where we come when we are creative, procreative, affectionate, and nurturing, thinking more of the community, less self-based. So we can use this knowledge now to see where we are currently. So I don't know about you, but when I sort of pop the TV on or the radio, so often I will get the government information, which, although useful, is utilizing this knowledge of the nervous system with sirens blazing and a kind of stimulation to our autonomic nervous system, the sympathetic part, to make us fearful, because when we are fearful, we're attentive. So we're paying attention to the message being given, because we need that for our survival. So, if we don't listen to that, we could die. So everything is focused on that. And this message is played out in the media time and time again. And it does serve a purpose. But what's happening now is happened for so long and so frequently that it's actually influencing our behavioral patterns and our thought patterns. So we are behaving more fearfully, and we are acting in a more, thinking in a more fearful way. This can create long-term problems, because even when the stimulus or the COVID is gone, we can remain in that fearful state. We've now been hardwired. They say it takes about 6 weeks to create a new pattern, and as we all know, it's been going on for longer than that. The same thing with the social distancing. We'll almost be fearful to get back to going to public because we haven't done that. We've lived in a little cocoon for a while. So that will make us anxious as well. So if we are understanding that we have the sympathetic side, anxious side, which is overstimulation, and we have the parasympathetic side, which is the calming side, the creative side, we need to stimulate that. So how can we do that? Well, through creativity, as I've said. If you are doing projects at home, where you've been gardening or different sports, or you'll know what has lit your fire, you found that actually calms you down because you're bringing that part of your nervous system. So I would encourage you to keep finding ways that you can be creative, find new ways of being innovative in the home and out about, and with your children as well. Another part of the effect of the sympathetic nervous system is that it releases those hormones of stress, so adrenaline and cortisol. And when we are in that state, we become more egocentric. So we think more of ourselves because we have to, as for survival. So when we're thinking more of ourselves, it can also be a more lonely place to be because we are really pack animals. We like community. So try and, as much as you can safely, communicate with other people. So we're doing it with Zoom calls, but try and talk over the fence from a distance, or if you're in the supermarket, just smile at strangers. Do anything you can to engage with your fellow mankind. And what that will do is it will connect you more to your deeper self, lessen your ego. And then when we all get ourselves back into society, we won't have to build up that inertia. We've already got some momentum going, that we care for our fellow mankind, we want to engage, and we're thinking less of ourselves. And if everyone is giving, it's a bottomless pit. But if we're all taking, like we found out initially in the supermarkets, things run out pretty quickly. So for our society and for yourself, for your sanity and for your mental health, be as giving as you can, even when it feels hard, because we've learned a different pattern in these COVID times. The part of your body where you are housing your sympathetic nervous system, this stress area, is actually the area between your shoulder blades, or between your base of your neck and where your ribs end, that your thoracic spine. And what I've actually noticed, I think Paz noticed the same when we've had conversations, is that we're seeing patients we've known for a long time, now we've started back in clinic, that are coming in with their old complaints to a large degree, but also new complaints, a lot more tightness around the upper back and in their shoulders. And, not always easy to release that because it's been like that for quite some period of time. You might have noticed yourself that when you are in a state of anxiety, your shoulders almost like become earrings up by your ears. Yep. So, and when you hold yourself like that, you're restricting your neck motion, you become very tight and inflexible. So this is what we're seeing in a practical, physical way in the clinic from this long-term period of stress. So to counter that, we are encouraging people to get adjusted. We're working on those areas to get flexibility in the thoracic spine, to lower the shoulders, to keep that part more mobile, to calm that sympathetic nervous system down. And at the end, I'll give you some exercises to do that if you just stick with me. And again, if we're releasing the hormones of stress, cholesterol, and adrenaline, we need to maybe look at our diets. We'll talk about ways of maybe reducing that in our diet as well. Cholesterol per se is not a bad thing in short-term measures, but when it's ongoing, that's when the damage occurs, because it creates damage to, amongst other things, the lining of your arteries, and that furs them up. The parasympathetic nervous system, the other side, that is housed in your body within your gut and within your skull. So that's where we do the cranial work, often with a lot of children, but also on the gut. So if you look after your gut health and you keep a regular bowel habit, then that's going to help with your parasympathetic nervous system, help you to be more creative and calm. So I always say, if you have a happy tummy, you have a happy person. The way that you can look after your gut, well, really it comes down to another thing, is diet. And also sometimes if you put your hand on your tummy or your partner's tummy. You know, I don't know about you guys, but I know if I have my hand on my stomach or I want to be in a restful state, it's very calming, isn't it? It's a very sort of sensitive area. It's not an area we often think of as being, you know, like that, but it is very calming to just rest your hand on your tummy. Now, ways that we can practically improve our situation at home, things you can do. Let's talk about exercise and posture. So I'm just going to bring up my screen here. We mentioned the middle part of the back is getting very tight. So there's different ways that you can stretch that out. For those that are familiar with yoga, you may have heard the cat and the cow. This is where you're on your hands and your knees and you're arching your back in and out, tied in with your breathing. So Google that, cat stretches, YouTube that, and get some exercise going with that one. It's very good for loosening up your middle part of your back. You can do one where you are so just standing, and you can put your arms in front of you, and you can just round your back this way, and you can just look forward, chin tucked in, and really stretch your back out that way. And if you go up, down, you can almost like someone putting their hands across your spine, up and down. That can relax it down, and you can get some circular motions in there. Yeah, you can go half a minute one way and half a minute the other way, and make the circles gradually bigger, so you can really stretch out the area between your shoulder blades. And you might find that one a helpful little exercise to do. Another yoga exercise called the child's pose, where you're sort of sat back on your haunches with your arms in front of you and your chin tucked in, or even down by your sides. That's another way of stretching out the upper part of your back. And you can just rest there for as long as feels comfortable. Just be careful if you have any knee issues with that one. Maybe use some pillows between your thighs and with your knees. So YouTube, Google that, cat back and child's pose for yoga. So we also said that, so that's going to calm down and stretching out your sympathetic nervous system. So for the gut, here, diet and nutrition is key. So there are as many bacterial cells in our body as there are cells in our body. So really we live in combination with bacteria. And with people's diets and antibiotics and toxins, often we kill off that bacteria. So refresh your bacteria. I don't really recommend things like Yakult and these dairy-based products. It's a bit of a gimmick. So get yourself a good quality probiotic. So we have those in the clinic. There are different ones available. You have to get them from us. We can post them out to you, or you can check online and see what you can find. But be careful. They're not all great. Some of them are not as good as others. So feed that. Also, prebiotics, fruit oligosaccharides, things like leeks and leek family, pak choi, these are all good things for feeding the bacteria. So feed that. Also, the two main vitamins for your gut health and for immunity, and listen, we want to be boosting our immunity in these COVID times, are vitamin A, which you can get from carrots and from some meats as well, and also vitamin D3. So that's sunshine. So we've had some really great weather in this time in lockdown. So do expose yourself to sunshine. If you have pale skin, then really get yourself in the sunlight without suntan factors on for about 15 minutes. If you're darker skinned, then you might want to do something like about 30 minutes or a bit longer before you lather it if necessary. So vitamin D3. You can also supplement with that, usually best in a liquid form. And zinc. So zinc, the mineral, is immune boosting. We usually see it in the clinic. We recommend that vitamin D and zinc in the winter time. So in the current situation, we'd recommend you keep on with your zinc tablets. About 400 IUs a day for the average person. It can sometimes make you feel a little bit nauseous when you first start taking it, but you kind of get used to that and take it always with food. So those are some things nutritionally that you can do. Just again with the posture, try and not be at these screens for more than 40 minutes, because I know what it's like. I'm the same. You know, you get there for a while, and you end up getting closer and closer towards it, and you round your shoulders. Not good for your posture. So set a timer. 40 minutes is the maximum time you should be in front of the screen. And get around, move around, put your favorite tunes on, and go crazy. If you do sit with support. You know that we recommend you sit with a forward angle of about 10 degrees. So sit on a wedge cushion if you need one. Again, get it from the clinic, and we've even actually put them on the website now. You can get them online. We'll post them out to you, so you haven't got to leave your home. And I think they're £15. I think that's right. Or is it 20? I think it's £20 including postage. But check on the website, I'll tell you for sure. So don't sit for too long. Sit with a forward incline and use a proper computer rather than a laptop. You're looking down even further with those. And when you go for a walk, walking is great. So when you're walking, just be as flexible as you can. Swing your arms, be a little bit exaggerated. Move at a pace that you can sustain for 20 minutes at a good pace. Don't really amble. Walk purposefully, best you can. If it means you and your partner have to walk at different rates, then so be it for part of the time. Another great way of sort of calming oneself down and getting more into the sympathetics is breathings. Ancient wisdoms and a lot of religious cultures have known this. So, and pregnant women, they know they can calm pain by the breathing techniques they teach for labour. Simple techniques I like to share with you is that you need to concentrate more on pushing the air all the way out, because when you create that vacuum in your lungs, it's automatically going to come back in. So, and breathe slowly and deeply into your belly. So it's breathing in, rather like this. So in through the nose, fill in the gut, hold it briefly, and then slowly out. Through pursed lips, like you're trying to blow on a candle without extinguishing it in front of you. Do it as slowly as you can, especially in the out breath, going all the way out, and do that for at least 3 repetitions. You can close your eyes if you want to. It's very calming, very relaxing. I also recommend meditation. That's probably the subject of a different lecture, but really meditation is a great way of calming yourself down and reminding you of different things. But I'll talk about that in another post. What else could I say? Yeah, and so also with breathing, it lowers your heart rate, alters your blood chemistry, reduces stress. Just definitely do it. Get the whole family doing it, you know. Yes, also on the healthy eating front, so our nervous systems have been put under a lot of strain. So your nervous system, like all parts of your body, needs nutrition. And some of the main nutrients you need for your nervous system are vitamin Bs. So taking a good quality, broad-based vitamin B complex is recommended. Note, turns urine bright yellow. And also magnesium. So magnesium, the trace element, is probably the most lacking mineral in most people, and you need it for 300 plus different reactions within the body. If you exercise a lot, you use up magnesium. If you are a poor sleeper, good chance that magnesium is lacking in your diet. So a good magnesium supplementation is important. In fact, in the clinic we have all different types for different situations. It's that important. So magnesium is important. And lastly, I would say treatment. Now, chiropractic, so we focus on the nervous system. It's there to get you flexible so you can move, so it's mechanistic from that point of view. But primarily, it's there to stimulate your nervous system so that you can control yourself, so you can regulate yourself, so that you're in harmony with yourself. And there's never been really a more important time for our work than now. And the irony is that with the lockdown, patients have had to stay away. So we've been monitoring the situation, and we now have the clinic open 3 days a week, and we will build that up as demand allows. And we can't see as many patients in the same time frame because social distancing, but we have created a very safe environment. And really, if you're able to come and you're not in the extremely vulnerable or very vulnerable group, in which case we'll talk to you individually, then I would encourage you to come along as soon as you can. These are fearful times, but I guarantee you that if you can start to stimulate your body with movement, eat healthily, take the exercises, try and give yourself a different mindset. What you believe, how you think will determine your actions. Your actions will determine your character, and your character determines your destiny. If we're to have a different destiny for you individually and for our community, we now need to look after ourselves and socially engage where appropriate. And that doesn't mean physically getting close to people. It means talking to someone, being giving, being nurturing to yourself and the wider world. I hope that this has been of some use to you. We love you very much. I don't regard you just as our patients. I regard you as my patient community. So that means that we have a duty of care towards you. We have skills to share with you, and we have love in abundance for all of you. And we cannot wait to get back to you. Love to you all, and please, for any comments, then send them back, call us up, send us an email. We're here for you. And linking with us on Facebook, we're trying to use that as a way we can communicate and share information and help you out as well. So lots of love to all of you on this day.